Welcome back, friends. In this episode, we're going to our last of the big five Utah parks, Zion. In this episode, the highlight really is our hike up the Angel's Landing, which is one of America's most dangerous hikes.
We're going to send this episode out to our friend Craig, also named Craig. He's not a big fan of heights, but Craig, you can do this one vicariously with us. I promise we'll make it through. Hang tight. Let's go.
Zion National Park was only about a half hour from Hurricane, where we were biking in our last episode. We stayed right in the park at the Watchman Campground.
Now, pro tip if you're planning on staying at American national parks is to book well in advance. We booked Zion way back last fall when we were first planning our trip, and even then we couldn't stay in the same campsite 3 nights in a row. We had to move part way through. So, best to plan ahead.
Zion National Park is a really busy park. They get a lot of visitors, but they are pretty well organized. They have a really good system. They're set up for the crowds. Most of the main kind of canyon that you visit in Zion is closed off to most traffic, other than like some delivery vans and I think accessibility. But other than that, it's shuttles and you can bike. So we took our bikes and hopped on the shuttles every day, and they all had bike racks, super easy to do. We got up the canyon, and so we had a downhill ride all the way home after our adventures.
Looks like a long line there in that footage, but really we only waited about 20 minutes, got our bikes on the rack, no problem, and off we went. So that was a really winning strategy for us, I think, both days. So one of the main hikes you can do at Zion is called the Narrows, which is a slot canyon, but in this case it actually has water coming down through it, and they had just opened it a couple days before. It still had quite a volume of water and current coming down through and was really cold. So we thought about it briefly, but we decided to give that one a pass, even though you can rent gear to keep warm and so on. We did take a walk up to the start of the Narrows, as did half of the universe, it seemed. It was pretty busy headed up there. It didn't look like a whole lot of fun. People were struggling against the current. You couldn't see the rocks beneath your feet. So we gave that one a pass. I think it was the right call. We also wanted to save our legs for the big hike we had planned for the next day. But maybe next time we'll get back and do the Narrows.
Our main hike in this park was Angel's Landing. To be able to do this hike, we had to apply for a permit via lottery system. We did this back in January. We got our permit, and so we're super excited about doing this hike. It's really the last section that is very narrow, steep. You kind of have to use chains to climb up it, and that's the part of the trail that you need the permit for, just to limit the number of people and make it a little bit better for everybody.
And also, since January, we had been psyching ourselves out watching YouTube videos of this terribly dangerous hike and reading about how many people had died here. I think about 15 folks have died at Angel's Landing since about the mid 80s. And it did look pretty treacherous, but I think the YouTube videos were a little bit overdone. I felt safe enough. It was pretty exciting. Enough jibber jabber. Let's cue some tunes and go for a hike up Angel's Landing. Okay, here we are at the final crazy section. Hang on to the chain, folks. Let's do this. Maybe some more soothing music will help us get up there and back. This might be the craziest bit yet. Woohoo!
It is pretty crazy. I remember this one the way was crazy too. Because it's the narrowest.
Yeah. The poles, they've caught me on trees a couple times. Yeah, we still got 2 miles out of here. I'm gonna stop and have another snack when I get back to Scout's Landing.
Me too. You hungry?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just stress eating.
I don't find this stressful really.
I didn't find it too bad.
Okay.
There's just portions up near the top where you're like, I don't want to get too close to the edge. I got my limits.
You just have to take your time and
Yeah, I was super sure-footed on all of this. You'll watch that GoPro back, like, oh my god, that guy's so slow. I was like, yep, that's the name of the game. Okay, hopefully everybody held on to the chain and is still with us. I'd feel really bad if we lost any of you subscribers up there. Oh, now maybe we can all just take a moment and calm down. We can watch this bird for a few minutes fishing for his supper. That was nice, but maybe some numbers would help us relax even more. Holly, what have you got for us?
we have over 11,000 kilometers and 12 national parks.
We've had a couple minor repairs on the van. We had to put some new tires on in Carlsbad. We put a new battery in on the way to Hurricane. So pretty minor stuff, knock on wood, but the van is doing really great. We've done a bucket list hike. For me, this was a bucket list one. This was a big one, and I really enjoyed it. And here's a Zion National Park statistic for you. These folks get over 5 million visitors a year. Plus 2. We've made it there now.
This episode wraps up our time in Utah. We really enjoyed the Big Five national parks. In my opinion, it really lives up to all the hype.
And each of them unique in their own way, so it was worth getting to every single one, I think.
Yeah, for sure. So, what's up next?
Up next, another big national park. We're headed down into Arizona for the Grand Canyon, to Sedona for a few days of touring around there, including, I think, the best barbecue we've had our entire trip. Stick around, it's going to be delicious.